Hey ladies, this is Deirdra, the wife from Moments with the Mobleys. And I'm doing this one without Mr. Mobley because he thought he was sneaking. This is for the ladies. Yep, Mrs. Mobley from Pillow Talk, Moments with the Mobleys. So I heard it through the grapevine that Johnny gave the fellas some tips on what women want. So I'm here to give you ladies some tips on what men want. So it doesn't matter how long you've been married, 3 months, 3 years, 30 years. These are some tips that I myself use and that have been given to me by women who I go to for wisdom and nuggets when it comes to marriage. As you all probably know, because we've said it in the earlier episodes, that we've been married for 27 years, together for 33 years. So I just wanted to share some of these nuggets with you real quick. So let's keep it between us women. How about that? And you can share with some of your good girlfriends some of these tips and these nuggets for when you think about what does he want from me. Well, let me tell you what I found that a man wants from his woman. Okay? So, first on my list is affection. And that's a great place to start for me. But let me tell you about this affection thing. While it is true that sex is an important subject or thing or part of a marriage for men, some men want to feel or experience more affection, and they probably won't tell you that. But I know, just knowing my husband over these years, that's something that he desires. That's something that makes him walk with his chest stuck out just a little bit more, should I say, is the fact that I'm on his arm. And when I grab his arm, he makes sure that I know, don't go on the left side, stay on the right side, because that's his stronger side. So that's my form of affection for him. I guess it's also known as PDA, public displays of affection, is me looping my arm through his arm or just holding his hand. Or even when we're driving in the car, I may just put my hand on top of his. Or just, being a little flirty or giving him an unexpected kiss at some point in time while we're out and about. Nothing too aggressive, but just something, a little flirtatious affection to let him know, I love you, or I appreciate you, or, I'm thinking about you, or that's a little appetizer for what's to come when we get back home. Okay? So, second of all, I want to tell you about how important it is to believe in his capabilities. It's one thing to actually just admire them from afar, but in even more importantly than doing that, let your husband know that you believe in his talents and his skills and his capabilities. Be his biggest cheerleader. I'm talking about in his corner with your pom-poms. I don't care if you got to go to the store, the Halloween, the costume store, and buy you one or order you one off of Amazon. But you be the biggest cheerleader in his ear. You make him feel like he is the greatest of all times. That's also known as GOAT, G-O-A-T. But yeah, you be his biggest cheerleader. You be in the corner telling him that there's nothing that he can't do, that all things are possible with Christ, that you got his back, his front, his side, his top, his bottom. Be that girl. Be that woman for him, because that's going to encourage him like none other. It's the most meaningful thing that you could ever do for him, is to let him know that you got him and that you're rooting for him, that even in failures, you're still rooting for him. That's real important, ladies. So make sure you put a couple asterisks by that particular nugget, okay? Okay, cool. Okay, ladies, so the next nugget I'm going to give you is understanding. So for men, it's one of the ways that really you both can show that you understand each other is by making a commitment to talk daily together, communicating, because a man wants to know that you get him. And it's even backed by research that suggests that feeling understood is an important part of a good relationship. Take the time to really sit and talk to him and listen to him and understand what he's saying to you, what his feelings are, what direction he wants the family to go into, where the Lord is leading him, and get clear understanding of what he's saying. I find that sometimes when I sit still and I listen to what he's saying and I reciprocate it back to him to make sure that I understand, that clears things up. It gets us and keeps us on the same page. So I'm not wondering, and he's not wondering either. So make sure you put a good asterisk by that one, maybe highlight that one, because understanding is everything. It could include things about what attracts you to one another, your favorite date together, what your partner's favorite quality is. Anything like that is important, okay? So understanding. Next, I want you to understand that appreciation and affirmation is everything. That's our next nugget, okay? Ladies, appreciation and affirmation. So a lot of guys like to be patted on the back, but one way to do this is by remember to compliment your man. You don't have to overdo it. Make sure it's genuine and it's sporadic throughout the week. So I do little things like send him a text message saying, babe, I love you and I appreciate you. I honor you. Thank you for all that you do for me. Thank you for all that you do for the kids. When he looks good, and that's all of the time to me, because I believe in celebrating him. And so I tell him, babe, your beard looks good, extra good today. Or, I try to, in some ways I am still a little jealous over him, and I try not to show that a whole lot, but I say things like, you don't need to put on all that cologne to go to work. There's too much cologne. Because them chicks, and I've said other words too, but we gonna save that. But I've said other things, but I'd be like, them, it starts with an H. Gonna be looking at you all kind of ways with you got on all that cologne now. But it's just a way to just let him know that I do appreciate him. And when I tell you it works, when I tell you it absolutely works, ladies, support your man, honor your man, love your man, appreciate and affirm him, because it helps him. I want my man to feel like he is the greatest of all times, and that he got the baddest woman on his arm, and that he can do anything and it's not just to say because to have something to say, but when I say those things to him, it's even a thank you when he opens the door for me and closes it back. It's a thank you when he puts up an umbrella when he himself is getting wet, so I don't have to get wet. Those are the things that I honor and I appreciate about him. If he has on a nice shirt that particular day, I'll be like, ooh, boo, you is bad. And that causes a little, I told him he's too old to smirk or to blush or whatever. But in all actuality, I'm telling him that because that's how I feel about him. And I want him to know that I want him to be good. I want him to be better. I want him to know that I got his back. Okay? Affirm and appreciate your man. If you don't, somebody else will. Don't you let that go lacking in him, because if it does, then when he get to work and that out of the wayward woman might say something, if he's already full of that from his wife, he has not even an eye turn or a head turn to entertain any of the other foolishness, okay? Affirm and appreciate your man. Okay, so the next nugget is acceptance. So we all want to be accepted for who we are, and we don't want others to try to change us, right? So you can show your man or your boo thing or your bae or whatever you want to call him. You can show him how much you accept him for who he is by seeing his flaws and loving him anyway. He doesn't know it, but I heard Mr. Mobley giving the men some nuggets, and this was one of he was giving them. But it's actually reciprocated, that you see his flaws and all, but you love him anyway in spite of. You get comfortable with being different, getting comfortable with just being different from our partner. But let go when it comes to different activities, opinions, or politics. It's as simple as that. Accept him for who he is. Don't try to change him. The one thing that I don't do is try to change my husband. If there's something or another way that I think that he might could do something better, or get the same outcome that might be an easier way, I'll share it with him. But that's a trust that we built in one another, to know that I'm not steering him in the wrong way, but I accept him for who he is, flaws and all. I love him. That's an unconditional love that guarantees acceptance, and he knows that. He knows my heart in that way. Okay, so accept him. If it concerns his health and safety, it's understandable, but I try to let him know in every area that I accept him for who he is, because he's a man of integrity. And as long as your man is a man of integrity and honesty and God-fearing, accept him for who he is. The things that he needs to change, the Lord will prompt that in him. He'll get him together with that. But just accept him for who he is. Okay? So, less chatter. Yep, I said it. Yes, I said it, sis. Less chatter. Sometimes we can be chatterboxes. And sometimes it's not necessary. It's not needed. Especially when your man is in a lane, or he's in a title, when it comes to maybe even being a pastor or a minister, or just whatever lane they're in. It could be out in the work world. Sometimes a man just needs that time to clear his head. And this was hard for me to understand as well, because when my husband used to come home after used to be with the kids all day, I wanted to talk. So I was trying to talk his head off. I was trying to talk his back out, just about random things. But of course, communication is important, but when I know that he had a lot on his mind, or he was trying to think about or get through a certain situation, or figure out a certain thing, or focus on handling business or whatever, it's okay to be quiet. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a bonus nugget. Be quiet and go and pray for him. How about that? Can I get a shot on that? Go pray for him. Go somewhere and ask the Lord to ease the burdens that he may be carrying, or give him the strength to go through whatever it is he's going through at work. Use that time wisely. Pray for your man. Did I say that? Pray for your man. Cover your man from the top of his head to the soles and the crowns of his feet. Pray for your man and cover him. Just less chatter sometimes. Turn your mouth off for those few minutes, or whatever that time is that's needed, okay? This is a big one. The next one is called respect. RESPECT. Who's that? Aretha Franklin? Yep, said it best. RESPECT. You want to create a loving and memorable marriage, and that starts with respect. You can even erase this from down there where it is and put it at the top of the list. Respect. One of the best ways you as a wife can show your husband that you love him and you respect him is by not only listening to him and not interrupting him when he talks, but avoid any negative comments. This goes hand in hand with affirming him and lifting him up and supporting him. Be considerate of his plans. Pray and ask God to lead him in the right way and make the right decisions when it comes to the plan, because y'all are one. And if he's leading you in the way of the Lord, then you will succeed. You will prosper. Opting not to use the eye roll when you disagree with him. Get your life together, girl. Get yourself together. Grow up. Mature. That's what it's called. So generally just being positive, being a positive person, being grateful, being thankful, being considerate of his wants and his needs. Respect him. Show him the respect that he deserves. Okay? Another one that was hard for me to understand in the beginning was free time. I always thought that if he said he needed a minute, that it meant that he didn't want to be with me, or that he didn't, care for me, or he didn't want to be bothered. And I was wrong. And I'm grown enough to say it. I was real wrong. My husband's routine is that he likes to play the airplane game on his phone, or the golf game on his phone. He'll go, in the another room, or he might go in the bathroom. He goes somewhere where he can just be alone and just wind down from his day. That's what gets his mind off of the stressors of work or the stressors of other situations that he may be dealing with. Of course, I'm not a stressor, boo. Don't be a stressor. I was at one point. But, just give him that time to decompress from his long day. And once he does that and put everything in the headspace that it needs to be in, and he may be, just getting his head clear, let him have the opportunity to do that. And then he can come and be available for what you need from him. Okay? Trust me, it works. Okay? So, another nugget for that one, if you really want to do something to help him as far as free time, plan something as well during that, free time. Once he's taking the time to get himself together or whatever and stuff like that, to get him away and just to do something. Do something that's carefree, that's stress-free. Take a walk. Take a stroll. Go to a movie. You don't have to think. Preferably a comedy, where he doesn't have to think about stuff. Make sense? Okay. So let's talk about trust. That goes up there with respect. It's vital to the success of any relationship. And trust has to be built. It has to be earned, because when it is destroyed, when it is broken, it's hard to get it back. And I'm speaking to you ladies from a very personal place. Trust is hard to get back. Once you build it, if it's broken, and I'm talking about if it's broken by you or your spouse or your man, it's hard to get back. So take the time to guard your hearts, the trust, guard your relationship. When we went through a very, very, I guess it was a low point in our marriage where the trust had been broken between us. And when I tell y'all, it took everything for me to, I would say, well, I wouldn't believe him if I said, well, what's the weather outside? Is it raining? He could say, yeah, I would go look behind him. When it gets to that point, you may think that it can't be built, but it can be built back up because it's done by actions. We got through whatever we needed to get through. We asked God to heal our hearts and everything like that. And he helped us to build the trust back up into one another. He helped us. It was done by us doing it intentionally. My husband did it intentionally. He, made sure that he was truthful with me. I made sure that I was truthful with him, but we built it back up. And for that, I'm grateful. So keep that trust in your relationship. Talk about things. You'll learn how to keep your promises and be yourself. Learn how to be authentic. Because my husband has this saying that he uses. You can't hold another person's face up over your face. You can't hold a mask up, but for so long. It's going to have to come down at some point. Be authentic. Be yourself. Earn your spouse's trust and keep it and guard it. It's not even worth it to tear your relationship down because of mistrust, distrust, lies, whatever. Okay? That's an important one, guys. Highlight that like 12 times. So, companionship. Last but not least, companionship is the nugget that I want to give to you. So, I heard him give the guys this one too, guys, ladies, but I'm going to tell you about it. Hopefully you'll be able to say, ladies, that your husband is not only your lover, but he's your friend. He's your best friend. I heard him tell the guys that I was his best friend. I know I am. And he knows that he's my best friend as well, because we laugh together. We cry together. We prophesy to one another. It's nothing for us to go in the mall and to laugh. And, sometimes it is about, folk, but bless the Lord. But we have a good time together, and it's genuine fun. And we can do that whether we're in the house watching a movie, whether we're, laughing watching a comedy show or Friends or whatever the show is. We can laugh, even in the serious moments, we find some type of laughter. Because he is my best friend. When something good happens in my life, the first person that I call, the person that I think about is him. And he's the first call that I make. When I have a low point, he's the first person that I call. So have that companionship. We respect one another. We honor one another. We don't take each other for granted. But most importantly, and this is another extra nugget that I'm giving you, cherish. Because you'll get to the point that in your relationship that it'll go above honor and above respect and above love. But I cherish you. And that's the great thing to be able to say that that's the point that we're at now, to where we cherish each other, to where it goes even deeper than I love you, but I cherish you. I honor you. I want to do things to intentionally bring you joy to your life. I intentionally do that. I intentionally want to see you happy and want to see you well and want to see you healthy. So this is what I'm doing to add to your life. There may be times when, I know there are times when I ask him to do things for me that he doesn't want to do. He don't want to go to Dairy Queen at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, but he'll get up and go because that's what I ask him to do in that moment. And he'll watch a Lifetime movie even when he doesn't want to. Or I'll watch a game when I don't even want to. But I do that because I intentionally want to be with this man and I intentionally want to make him happy. Seek God first. I'm going to leave that scripture with you, ladies. Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God, his righteousness, and all other things will be added. So for me, all those other things are not just monetary stuff. The house is good. The car is good. The money is good. All that's good. But the other things that I want him to add is joy and peace and love in my life, in my relationship, in my marriage, because my first ministry is at my home and I cherish and I honor my husband. So those other things added, I ask him for peace in my marriage, for a great relationship that flows with love and understanding and trust and all those things that make life worth living. So those are the end of my nuggets for you, ladies. But I do hope that this has helped you. I do hope that you'll take something away from this and apply it to your marriage and to your relationship, because a great, healthy, God-fearing, loving, great sex and great just communication, a great relationship is possible, but you got to be it. You got to live it. You got to speak it. You got to ask God for it. And I do those things. And I'm happy to say that he honors me. He loves me. And so he does give those things to me, and he'll give them to you too. Okay, ladies? So this has been just a couple moments with one half of the Mobleys. I'm Deirdra Mobley. My better half is Johnny C. Mobley Jr., and I love him with everything that's in me. We are, this is Pillow Talk, Moments with the Mobleys, but just one of the Mobleys for you ladies with these nuggets. So you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. The next time I'll be with my man. Y'all have a great day. Bye.